Alrighty, how's it going, folks? Got a not really a question so much as just a thought we're formulating in our mind. We're trying to kind of develop this theory or this service methodology or this service model. So I wanted to talk it through and maybe get some of your feedback on what you think about it. Maybe it's a crazy idea. Maybe it's the future of what we're doing here in Phoenix. But it goes something like this. So in your typical social services setting, there's a lot of talk on boundaries and healthy boundaries and client separation and not getting too close to clients and all of that stuff. And we do all of that. But I'll tell you what I see. I've seen a number of directors direct our different programs, and once in a while, and I know you've seen this too. You'll get a director who's just very relatable, very charismatic, very personable to the people that you're serving, and honestly, a little crew or a clique or a little family forms, and in that environment, there's certainly some challenges. You have to give the real genuine appearance to clients of melding and you're one, we're part of this family, but you also have to maintain things like personal boundaries and personal cell phones and money, and I'm thinking of our human trafficking program when a lot of our girls and women are conditioned to play the game, and so there are some of them through no fault of their own, they've just been taught and trained to be master manipulators. So there's all this stuff you got to work through, but I can't argue that when this happens, that if you can maintain the healthy boundaries side of life, that clients in our programs here in Phoenix, clients that really feel that the leadership are a part, that they really feel they're part of a family, those programs do exceedingly well, better than any of our other programs that are more just kind of your clinical. And nothing wrong with that, because sometimes what you need is clinical, but I think what we're struggling with is okay. So from a teachability standpoint, from a testability standpoint, from testing results and putting policies in place that help with those ancillary issues that are kind of challenging. Like aside from all that, like I don't know, like what do we call that? I mean, we've been just toying with it's a family-centric model, or it's a nuclear model, like a nucleus, like a family. I don't know. We're toying with these ideas. I think what we know is that the programs we have that are very sterile, very clinical, have typical success rates and typical outcomes, typical according to other agencies. But ones that have this, little things like, for example, one of our directors, it's a smaller program, like 40 people in the program. I guess that's mid-size for us. One of her requirements is you have to friend me on Facebook, and she uses it as an accountability tool and a follow-up tool, and she'll just randomly, if they're out working or their day off, she'll randomly do Facebook Live, so she can kind of peep and see what's going on around them. But it's created this sort of thing where the girls feel like sometimes we're their first ever positive friend on Facebook, and so it just creates this. And in another sense, what one of my directors done is she's done just the most amazing job you'd ever see of really being raw and genuine and like street. I don't know how to say it, but just being street with some of our girls. And I think that conversations like go places like that you would never have in a clinical therapeutic setting. And so again, I think the clients in those programs, well, what we see is they respond much better to their treatment plans. They're much less likely to run. They're much less likely to drop out, to break the rules, to bend the rules. But I think everybody falls and trips sometimes when they're in recovery. They're much quicker to get back up and try it again, because they know it's part of a family. And in a family, you forgive. Now, also in a family, you can shouldn't take it too far, and there has to be lines get crossed, and so there's that whole thing. But I think early on my concerns were okay. So when the program is smaller, like 10 or 12 people, that's when this new director came on. Okay, that's easy. Like anybody can do that. But I think in my head I thought, but once it gets to 100, like how are you going to personally relate to the 100 the same way that you relate to the 10? And so I think that to some degree it's not scalable if it all depends on that one person, that one director. But if you create a culture where the entire leadership team is all that personal, they're all that friendly toward folks, and they're all that welcoming as a family, as a sorority type thing. That's kind of, we've had them use that word before. This is a sorority up here. It's joking around. The girls feel a part of something. So I guess that's the blend. Is how can we create a model where the girls or the men of our program really feel like they're part of a sorority or part of something special that's happening, more so than just, hey, I'm at this place, I don't want to be here. Once I get my get right, I'm getting out. It creates a different environment. So we've been toying around with that. If you've got any thoughts on how you do relating to your clients, and you're doing it well, or if you're maybe already doing this, hey, we want to hear from you. Take care. Bye-bye.